Live from the CBS Broadcast Center in Los Angeles, this is CBS2 News at 5 p.m.
Police shot and killed a woman in Fullerton after they say that woman took her therapist hostage with a knife.
Well, that therapist called 911 to say her client had stabbed her. Police rushed to the scene.
And that's when the suspect, we're told, barricaded himself and the therapist in the office in the 1600 block of East Chapman Avenue.
CBS2 Orange County reporter Michelle Geely has been working the story all day long and joins us live now with the very latest for us. Michelle?
You guys, let me show you this. This is where one of the officer's bullets came through the stucco. The therapist's office is just on the other side of this wall. She's being identified tonight by her husband as Jackie Stevens. We don't know whether her patient surprised her this morning or whether, in fact, she may have had an early morning appointment or what set her off.
As I said, I don't know how you could ever do that. She's such a wonderful woman. She's done nothing but help me.
Police have released a photograph of a large knife that they say was used to stab a therapist in Fullerton this morning.
And somebody came up and had told us that she had someone come in and try to assault and stabbed her, and that the person was shot and killed. And she's been taken to the hospital.
The husband of 40-year-old Jackie Stevens confirms his wife was the woman stabbed. He says she is doing well, is in, quote, good spirits. Authorities say the female patient and suspect killed by officers as she held Stevens hostage is not being identified.
I heard boom, 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 boom. Don't quote me on the number of shots. It was more than 3 because I couldn't count them. I lost count on them. And then I thought, is that gunshots? And I immediately wanted to get out of here.
The drama began around 7:30 this morning. Fullerton police say they got a 911 call from a woman saying she'd been stabbed in the back by a patient who was barricaded inside. Police stormed this office at the corner of Chapman and Acacia Avenue and fired multiple rounds. One of the bullets pierced the wall in the parking lot.
Well, we're a little anxious. We're concerned about their well-being, obviously, and we're trying to get them out of the building now. So that's our main concern. Things like this can happen anywhere.
A search of Jackie Stevens shows she's been practicing for 6 years. The therapist writes that her niche is treating personality disorders. These clients say she helped make their home happy again. Just about an hour ago, we saw the suspect's red Kia being towed away by police. It is interesting to note that Kia was not parked here in the therapist's parking lot, but rather in a lot next door, out of view. Live in Fullerton, back to you.
All right, Michelle, thank you. Police rushed to a house in Chatsworth after someone reported a man was holding his wife hostage with an AR and bombs. A SWAT team carefully approached the house on Trammell Lane. A man came down the driveway with his hands up and was detained. Then a woman holding a child came outside and began talking with police. It turns out it was a case of swatting. And that's when someone calls police and creates a fake story to get a large response. Police let the man and woman go. They're now on the hunt for the mystery caller.
Two men attacked on the streets of Anaheim, one of them in critical condition. Police say the suspect attacked a worker at King Pollo restaurant on State College Boulevard just before 11 a.m. They then got a call about another attack outside El Pollo Loco, a block away. Witnesses chased down the suspect until police arrested him. El Pollo Loco victim is in critical condition and the other is in stable condition.
Nearly 3 weeks after shots rang out at Highland High School in Palmdale, the student who took a bullet is now suing the school district. Today, that 14-year-old told his story. Here's CBS 2's Amy Johnson.
I was just really shocked to see that a gun was pointed at me and feeling the pain after.
With his arm still in a cast, 15-year-old Robert Ruiz Dominguez talked about the morning he was shot in the arm at Highland High School in Palmdale, allegedly by a former student who also fired at Dominguez's 17-year-old sister Christina.
I was just scared for my sister because I saw the gun being pointed at her.
It happened early May 11th before school when investigators say the 14-year-old former student shot at the siblings.
This boy came out of the bathroom. He had an AK-47, as I understand it, and the bathroom is very close to where they were sitting doing homework. He just opened fire.
The two teens and their family were joined at a news conference by their attorney, Bradley Gage, who says the shooting was random. The family is suing the shooter, his parents, and the school.
The schools have an obligation to protect our students.
Gage says the school failed his clients by not having a safety plan or screening devices. He also claims security guards weren't properly trained, and the school resource officer wasn't scheduled to arrive until 9 a.m., nearly 2 hours after the shooting.
We had a situation that was a perfect storm.
Robert, who plays the violin and trumpet, doesn't have full use of his arm or fingers.
I don't even feel like going to any other school because it happened at one school and it could happen at another.
We reached out to the Antelope Valley Union High School District. They tell us that they continue to support the injured student and his family. They also tell us that they are working with law enforcement to fortify safety protocols at all of their schools. And they went on to say that they have a dedicated school deputy on campus each day and that they have safety drills throughout the year. In Woodland Hills, Amy Johnson, CBS 2 News.
Amy, thank you. School safety at the forefront of the White House agenda today as the president flew to Texas to meet with the victims of the Santa Fe High School massacre. President Trump met behind closed doors with family members at a Coast Guard facility in Houston. 10 people, including 8 students, died on May 18th. Education Secretary Betsy DeVos visited an elementary school in Maryland to observe positive things districts are doing there to improve safety. At the White House yesterday, a 13-year-old journalist asked Press Secretary Sarah Sanders this.
One thing that affects mine and other students' mental health is to worry about the fact that we or our friends could get shot at school. Specifically, can you tell me what the administration has done and will do to prevent these senseless tragedies?
I think that as a kid and certainly as a parent, there is nothing that could be more terrifying for a kid to go to school and not feel safe. So I'm sorry that you feel that way.
Now, following the tragedy in Parkland, Florida, the Trump administration is now looking into stricter background checks, raising the minimum age for buying assault weapons and possibly arming teachers.
And the Trump administration made it official today. The U.S. will impose steep tariffs on both steel and aluminum from 3 of America's biggest trading partners, Mexico, Canada, and the EU. In March, President Donald Trump announced new worldwide trade penalties would be going into effect. The EU, Mexico, and Canada were granted 2-month exemptions while negotiators talked, but those negotiations ended last Friday. Well, now Commerce Secretary Wilbur Ross says a 25% tariff on imported steel and a 10% tariff on imported aluminum will be imposed. They will go into effect at midnight. Mexico, the EU, and Canada have already announced plans to retaliate with their own tariffs against U.S.-made products.
Let me be clear. These tariffs are totally unacceptable. The American administration has made a decision today that we deplore and obviously is going to lead to retaliatory measures, as it must. These tariffs are an affront to the long-standing security partnership between Canada and the United States, and in particular, an affront to the thousands of Canadians who have fought and died alongside their American brothers in arms.
And stocks took a fall after today's announcement. The Dow fell 252 points to 24,415. The Nasdaq was down 21 points to 7442, and the S&P 500 fell 18 points to 2705.
3 presidential pardons handed down today, with more possibly on the way. Mr. Trump announced he's pardoning conservative commentator Dinesh D'Souza, who pleaded guilty to violating federal campaign finance law back in 2014. Now he's thinking about adding ex-Illinois Governor Rod Blagojevich and convicted felon Martha Stewart, a businesswoman, to the list. Blagojevich, a Democrat, is serving a 14-year sentence for corruption. Stewart was convicted in 2004 for lying to the government about why she dumped her own company's stock just before the price fell.
With the June 12th summit between President Trump and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un still in limbo, a major decision could be announced tomorrow. That's when Kim's chief envoy, Kim Yong-chol, will deliver a letter to Mr. Trump from the communist leader. The president canceled next month's meeting last week, citing open hostility from the regime. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said today progress has been made, but nothing is set in stone.
Well, first, Roseanne Barr, now late-night TV talk show host Samantha Bee, is taking heat for an insult.
Yeah, Bee targeted first daughter Ivanka Trump. CBS 2 political reporter Dave Bryan is here now with what she said and what the White House wants Bee's bosses to do about it.
Yeah,
Dave?
and it looks like already Bee's comments are even having more impact on the controversy about Roseanne Barr's comments. So there we go. It's been a rough week for comedians with TV shows, to say the least. The latest one on the firing line is The Daily Show alumna and Full Frontal host Samantha Bee. She attacked President Trump's immigration policies and then said this about his daughter.
Let me just say, one mother to another, do something about your dad's immigration practices, you feckless. He listens to you.
Now that sparked a firestorm online and in Washington. White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders called it vile and vicious and demanded TBS network executives show that this will not be condoned. Donald Trump Jr. tweeted this: "Good thing there's no double standard." Imagine anyone said this about Michelle Obama or the Obama girls. You think they'd still have a TV show? Bee issued the following statement on Twitter: "I would like to sincerely apologize to Ivanka Trump and to my viewers for using an expletive on my show to describe her last night. It was inappropriate and inexcusable. I crossed a line and I deeply regret it." TBS executives, they had their Twitter too. They quickly followed suit, saying Samantha Bee has taken the right action in apologizing for the vile and inappropriate language she used about Ivanka Trump last night. Those words should not have been aired. It was our mistake too, and we regret it. But some damage is already done. The show Full Frontal just lost 2 sponsors, Auto Trader and State Farm Insurance. So it'll be interesting to see now what happens with Bee's career, whether she gets fired ultimately or not.
Yeah. Okay, Dave, thank you.
Seems like crossing the line is a daily thing now, right?
It's looking like it, right?
Yeah.
Almost every day. You name it.
Thanks, Dave.
A break in a mysterious murder case, from a 911 call to a pool of blood inside a local home. Now 3 people are in custody while the search is on for a 4th.
Plus, fed up people in an Encino neighborhood rallying against Waze. Is the app to blame for traffic troubles there?
And drama and excitement in Laverne as a bear wandered around a neighborhood. How it all came to a peaceful end.
Hi, everybody. I'm Garth Kemp. Wow, beautiful shot behind me. Get ready. A big warm-up's heading our way. We'll tell you about the weekend coming up.